Okay, so we're going to move right into our presentations. This is the second half of them. Without further ado, we have ballroom basics as our first. So take it away.
Sometimes after the pledge, they say play ball. I guess we have to say play ballroom basics. Good afternoon. My name is Sydney Grant, Dr. Dance. I'm the founder Executive Artistic Director of Ballroom Basics. We're the only large-scale, non-competitive ballroom, Latin, and line dancing program in the DOE vendor system in New York City. We've served over 20,000 school children in more than 100 New York City schools, and I'm joined by Zoe, our teaching artist and council relations manager. She's also our featured TA in Staten Island at all 5 schools that we've had the pleasure of serving in your borough. It is indeed an honor and privilege for us to present our testimony to you after serving several hundred school children in multiple Staten Island districts these past couple of years. If we had been joining you in person, we surely would have brought some of those kids to dazzle you with a dance presentation and their cool moves, but more importantly, the social graces that our program imparts to young people. And we've done as many, this is what we've done at many other borough hearings as well over the years. But instead, because we are virtual, we have a delightful video to share with you. And Brooke was kind enough to say that she will play the video since WebEx is not as familiar a platform for us. So let's take a look at the video, if we may.
Of course, one moment.
Thank you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, that's the link that was sent?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. That's okay. Would you stop playing it for me?
Sure.
That's another video that was just completed on Friday in a Brooklyn middle school, but that's not the one that's supposed to be playing.
Okay.
I figured out the WebEx thing, so I can present it to you right now.
Okay, one moment.
Experiencing technical difficulties, please stand by.
That's right. Let me get out of here and get back to, let's see, Zoe, you've got it?
I do. Unmute me. Okay. I will. Yep. Here we go. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
There we go.
You want to go?
Mr. Andrew, what did you think of the class?
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, what was fun about it?
It became very important for me to look for creative ways to get my kids to be kids in school while they were learning, because there was no way that they could learn if they were not able to be themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch this now. Yes, we love it.
As a principal of an elementary school, I believe this experiment was remarkable to their lives. There are a multitude of values to this program, and I believe this will basics forever.
sure that we can learn in the classroom only. Learning extends outside the classroom in all we do.
So having the program in today and dancing with my children gave my kids the opportunity to be kids again.
Brava, Miss Zoe, brava.
Why, thank you. I figured it out all by myself.
That's great, Zoe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me ask, the schools that you are working in Staten Island, where's the funding coming from? Are those CASA grants or?
So those, the schools that we're working in presently are actually all self-funded, whether through their own funding source or their PTA. We have applied for both individual council office support from all 3 Staten Island offices, as well as a delegation request. And we have done quite a bit of CASA programming in other districts in Queens and a few other boroughs as well, but not Staten Island yet.
Does any other members of the board have any questions?
Just I mean, it looks like a great program. I like that those kids all dance together like that rather than individual acts like the normal, dance instruction is. Do you have any connection to the charter schools? Have you ever reached out to them? We have a number of charter schools that could certainly use something like this in their curriculum.
We'd be happy to reach out to the charter schools. In fact, one of our biggest success stories is in the Bronx at the 7 Icon charter schools. We started in a single school 10 years ago, and now we're in all 7. And the schools pair up for what you saw in the video, the Ballroom Basics Bash. By the way, if you notice that big event at the Goodhue Center, so that was our first large-scale bash in Staten Island, and former Superintendent Anthony Ladico attended. And I wanted to just explain to you that those 2 groups of children had never met one another before that day. And that's what's really exciting about our non-competitive philosophy. We don't beat the other school, we meet the other school. We give kids the self-confidence and presence of mind to dance with another child that they've never met. That's a big life skill and confidence booster to experience. And that's the main purpose of the program.
Is this activity part
great.
of the... Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
And it's not the usual paradigm of dance instruction either. So it looks like a wonderful thing for young people to learn.
Thank you very much.
Have you approached the Department of Education citywide to deal with this?
We have DOE has come to observe our classes in the past, and we are a DOE vendor program. It's certainly, we would certainly entertain, a broader participation of the DOE in our actual, service plans. Thank you for the suggestion, Jerry. I appreciate it. Did I hear you start to ask a question?
Is this activity part of the daily curriculum, or is it after school activity, or how does this fit in during?
So most of the schools that we work with schedule this with us once a week during the school day, and we go consecutively to whatever grade they've decided to have us serve. So for example, if they've decided that we work with the 4th grade and have 4 4th grade classes, Miss Zoe or another one of our trained teaching artists would go to school once a week and go to each classroom consecutively so that the whole grade gets the experience. And what I wanted to stress in answering your question, Robert, is that unlike some arts activities that are elective, this is not elective. Every child, regardless of ability or popularity or ethnicity or identity, every child gets to participate, and they rotate around a circle. We created this unique rotational syllabus. So every child gets to dance with every other child. And I'm telling you, it changes the social landscape of the classroom.
It does.
It's really,
We did it in public school when I was a kid in public school. We used to have dancing. Anybody went to public school? Is this only for public schools or parochial schools as well?
no, we actually have a huge, we'll be happy if you want to put your email in the chat, or if we can get it from Brooke. We actually have an email, a video of our 10-year history in the Catholic schools. We've got a tremendous track record with Catholic schools, and because the way in which we approach polite and respectful physical touch dovetails very nicely with their values.
Thank you.
Sure, I'd be happy to send you some email contacts.
Since it's during the school day, is the teacher from the school or the class in there with you when you're doing this program?
Yes, and in fact, we do a staff orientation, and we give them a few steps before we work with the kids, because we know that the adults can be just as nervous or sometimes more nervous than the kids themselves. And so we really want to be supportive of the educators. And I'm so glad you brought that up, Jerry, because of course what's so critical is that we have the buy-in of the educator. This is the person with whom the children have the relationship. So if they're excited and they're engaged, then their school children will be too.
Now, I'm sorry to ask so many questions, but you're intriguing me. Can people just sign up with you as an individual to do dancing? Can kids just?
We do have, we're headquartered in Harlem, which of course is the birthplace of swing dancing. And we do have a studio site here, but typically what we do is we go remotely to, for example, if you wanted to, through the community board, to get a small group together to do a few different ballroom basics workshops in a particular dance. We do that. That's the kind of thing we do all the time. And you might be interested to hear that we do professional development workshops, PD. And let me tell you, getting coworkers on a circle and dancing one to the next as adults, it has the same impact as it does on the kids. It's a fresh way to relate and be respectful to one another. And so we also do the PD. So there are options. We'll be happy to make something happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for all the exciting questions. We appreciate it.
Julie.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you very much for coming. We're going to move on to Ciro from the Noble Maritime Collection. How are you, Ciro?
Good, how are you? Hello,
Okay.
Thank you. All right, everyone.
The floor is yours.
Sorry?
I said the floor is yours.
Oh, very good. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Very good. So, everyone, my name is Ciro Galeno Jr. I'm the executive director of the Noble Maritime Collection. We're one of the constituent museums at Smith Harbor Cultural Center. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to address the Staten Island Borough Board to let you know about our needs, but more importantly, how we are putting city funds to the best possible use. Before I proceed, I want to just thank all of you for your leadership throughout the pandemic and for ensuring that everyone has access to the vaccine. As director of the Noble Maritime Collection, I am committed to having the museum play a meaningful part in our community's recovery. The museum is marking its 35th anniversary this year. It is dedicated to the life and work of artist and sailor John A. Noble, who believed that art should be accessible to all. The centerpiece of the museum is Noble's Houseboat Studio. Our newest exhibition opened last month, and it highlights the work of 19th century New Brighton maritime artist E.F. Nielsen. Other exhibitions focus on the history of Robbins Reef Lighthouse, which the museum owns and is restoring with volunteer effort. Last March, the museum temporarily closed in advance of mandatory pandemic lockdowns. Thanks in part to the payroll protection program, all 6 staff members remained employed and worked from home. We reopened the museum to the public on September 10th with new safety protocols in place, but we have yet to resume educating students in person or holding public programs at the museum. At the start of the lockdown, the staff quickly and creatively adapted in order to continue to serve the public. On April 3rd, we launched the Noble at Home, an online museum experience that features exhibitions and virtual tours. Education programs include 7 videos specially developed for homeschooling. Despite the lockdown and thanks to these virtual options, We served over 3,000 students last fiscal year. That includes the virtual CASA program for special education students at PS 373 in New Brighton, generously funded by Councilwoman Rose. The FY21 CASA program with the school is about to commence, and we submitted a request to the Councilwoman to support another CASA program in FY22. We're also about to begin a virtual multi-session school residency with special education students at at IS25 in Huguenot, generously funded by Councilman Borelli, and we respectfully ask the councilman to support the continuation of the school partnership in FY22. We also launched Noble on Watch, or NOW for short. That's a series of free, pre-recorded virtual lectures and concerts. This has allowed the museum to continue its ongoing series of programs that highlight diverse stories in maritime history. We have presented 6 lectures so far, and this Saturday we will premiere Untold Stories of the Titanic, the Only Black Passenger. Ironically, going virtual has actually helped increase our audience. Lectures that would have been attended by 50 people in person now reach upwards of 500, and close to 2,000 people have enjoyed the program so far. We will build on this success in FY22 and respectfully ask for discretionary funding from Councilwoman Rose to support these public programs. Thanks to Department for the Aging funding from Councilman Borelli, we've also developed a multi-session music program for a senior center on the South Shore. We would greatly appreciate the councilman's support for a DFTA program in his district again in FY22. And I will add that as a proud native resident of the South Shore, I'm quite pleased to have the museum serve more of my neighbors. I thank the borough president for the discretionary funding his office has provided the museum in years past, and would be grateful to be considered for such funding later this year if it's available. I also thank the borough president for the capital allocations for the reconstruction of the museum's aging facade. Thanks to his support and that of the mayor and the Department of Cultural Affairs, this project is fully funded and work is set to begin in 2023. While the Noble is not requesting capital funding for FY22, I urge you to support the capital request of my colleagues at Snug Harbor Cultural Center, the Staten Island Museum, and the Staten Island Children's Museum. This historic site, with its unique landmark buildings and aging infrastructure, needs as much capital investment as the city can afford to allocate. Our organizations enjoy a collaborative relationship unlike ever before, and what benefits the site benefits us all. So thank you again for this opportunity to address you on behalf of the Noble Maritime Collection. It's a privilege to work with each of you in service to our community. Thank you.
Sounds like you have a very robust programming going there in this pandemic era. Good for you. We're also glad to see you didn't have to lay off staff. That was great too.
That was a blessing. You know, there's a blessing in being, you know, having such a small staff. A lot of time, it's a lot of work for us, but we're all passionate about it. And the paycheck protection program really worked for us, so that was good. We had some slight furloughs in the month of August before we reopened to the public, but once we reopened to the public, everybody came back 100%. So.
No, that's wonderful, great, and the program sounds terrific. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. You're on mute, Lee.
Right.
Does anybody else have any questions for Ciro?
Oh, we hear you now.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ciro, for coming. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
Okay, so this is
Okay, good.
the end of our presentation.
No, I appreciate you getting back to me. It's nice to have someone who does.
So we're gonna move right on. If the presenters want to leave, they can leave the Zoom because we're gonna go into our regular Borough Board housekeeping issues. So for the acceptance of the minutes from last month, can I entertain a motion to accept? Jerry first, Bob second. Thank you. Correspondence, we did not have any new correspondence this month. Does anybody have any old business to bring up? Nope. Any new business to bring up?
I just have a question
Sure.
when it's my turn.
Go ahead, Bob, it's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thanks. Is there any plan, I've been tracking it in the advance, is there any plan to open up any COVID hubs on the South Shore, Millerfield, Great Kills, down the CD3 area, CYO, somewhere, anywhere, like ShopRite
We
or Sears or.
we are trying to find a location. Sears is actually one of the ones that we are looking at. They have a lot of criteria. They have not gotten back to us if it meets the criteria or not.
Got it.
The Parks Department actually has the senior center down on Cedar Grove is empty right now.
Yes.
And it's brand new because it was just renovated, so there's nothing in it and no one in it. But and the Parks Department did reach out to see if they could use it, but they said it was a little small for their needs. So we are actively pursuing something.
Okay. And the old ShopRite too on Highland is empty too, right? But the new one, they moved into the new location.
Yeah, they haven't indicated that they would be willing to. I mean, right now we're dealing with people, with businesses and landlords that are willing to let us use it.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Thank you.
but we are pursuing it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we do not have a presentation yet scheduled for April. I'm sure we will get one. And when we do, I will let you know. If no one has anything else, then can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion
All
to
right,
adjourn.
Jerry first, Bob second. All right, thank you very much. Brooke, as
Take care,
always,
everybody.
thank you very much for arranging everything. We greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Take care,
Good to
guys.
see
Thank
everyone.
you. Have a good evening, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
You too. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
You
Bye.
always get us zoomed in, Brooke. Thank you.
I got your back, man. Take care.
Brooke.
Bye now.